No, because I think they're trying something new.
Hey guys, welcome on into Comic Book Women. I am Laura at Birdcity Comics, joined by Lucy at Comic Mama. Say hi, Lucy.
Hi.
There we go. And Jen at Comic Aficionado.
Hey.
We would love for you guys to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And if you are enjoying the show, if you're liking the content, subscribe to the page. That way you won't miss out when we do something cool. For example, tonight we have artist Greg Horn here with us tonight. I said tonight twice, but you get the idea. Yay! So get comfortable and we will be right back with him. Okay, guys, we are back, and we have Greg Horn with us. Greg, what's up?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hi.
We're doing good. It's so good to have you again. I feel like just yesterday, you and I were sitting here talking about Punchline #1.
Yeah,
And now we're
that
back
was a lot
again.
of fun.
That was a good interview. That was a lot of fun. And your background's back, so if any of you guys saw that one, the background is a star in itself. So before we get into the brand new cover that was released today, we have a couple little fun questions that we want to ask Greg and get to know him a little bit. But first, before we went live, he was saying he was watching a lot of bad movies lately. What were the movies?
Well, like I mentioned, I've been doing a lot of sketching lately, so I will run my TV in the background, and I like to have new things to watch, obviously. So I'll see things on the DVR, I save them, and some of the movies are great, but I have seen so many bad movies. I can't believe how bad they are. One of them was Blues Brothers 2000 or Blues Brothers 2. You guys ever seen that?
Is it the old school? The
It's not the old school one. It's
okay.
It's the one they made after Belushi died.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it is god awful.
Never heard of it. I didn't even know there was a 2.
I've never heard of it either. So you're sitting there remarking, and you're like looking up, this is crap. Then you keep remarking. This is awful.
Essentially, yeah. Yeah.
Change
It's
the
hurting
channel.
my eyes. It's hurting my ears. It's just bad
Oh.
stuff.
My God. And
Yeah,
what's the other ones?
Yeah, what were the other ones?
There was another one called Desperate Hours, and it actually has some really good actors in it. It's got Anthony Hopkins and who was the guy that played Whiplash in Iron Man 2?
The Michael Rourke?
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
And so it's got some good actors, but it's just terrible.
Oh no.
Yeah,
But you know what's
Anthony
funny?
Whitney.
You know what's funny? I gotta admit, I kind of like some bad movies because
Yes! Yes!
one of my favorite TV shows ever was Mystery Science Theater 3000. This was a show where these guys were trapped in outer space, and a scientist was performing experiments on them, and they would force them to watch bad movies and then record their reactions. And this is how you got this whole genre of people making fun of video, while they're watching the video and making fun of it. That kind of started that whole genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was fun to watch. And I think they tried to bring it back, right? I think Netflix tried to bring it back or something like that.
Yeah. The guys that originally did it, they split up and they've been doing different versions of it. One is called Riff Tracks, and then I can't remember what the other guys did, but yeah, I love watching bad movies if somebody's making fun of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds relaxing. I mean, if you have to be sitting there remarking the whole time, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
We were talking about Jack and Jill because Greg has twins, and that's just such a terrible movie, but I enjoy it for that exact reason. It's funny to watch. All right. So, Greg, quick question. After we have you on later in the show, we're going to be talking about mobile phone games. That's kind of what our show's on tonight.
Ooh.
So you have kids. What do you play? What's on your phone right now?
Well, my phone. I really don't play games on my phone because it's a bad habit for me personally. You know, because we're running a business here. But I do have a game that I'm completely addicted to. It's called Breath of the Wild. It's a Legend of Zelda game. And it is an open world platform. You could play this game. You could play this game for the rest of your life.
And die happy at looking it up.
On
Yes,
Nintendo Switch?
yes.
It's on the phone, right?
You can play it on Nintendo Switch. I'm actually playing it on my kid's old Wii system.
Nice.
Which some people might think is lame, but I like it. I like that little view screen on there, and you can watch TV and do things on the view screen at the same time.
I think my husband is playing something like that on his phone. I know he's playing, and it looks like the old school little things. He's playing something similar.
This is beautiful. If you guys look it up, the phone itself is or the game itself is really pretty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic. I mean, design-wise, concept, the storyline.
Definitely.
It is one of the best games I've ever played. I started playing it with my daughter, and we kind of bonded over it, and we started 2 separate accounts so she can play and I can play. And then she's one of those personality types that likes to run through the levels as fast as possible, and I like to explore. So sometimes she'll come in the room and she'll be like, "Where did you get that giant horse?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got it next to a baobab tree in the Gerudo Desert. You didn't see it?" And then she'll just give me that dirty look. She knows I'm messing with her.
Well, that's awesome that you can, bond, like you said, you can bond with her and things like that. That's
yeah,
cool.
it's not so easy once they turn 14. You know how it is. They want to run off and do their own things. I used to mini golf with her all the time, and just last week she went and mini golf with her friends, and I got a little jealous.
Oh no! Oh my God! My son's 10 right now. I have a 10 and 3-year-old. Oh my God! I don't know if if I'll be able to take that when they don't want to hang out with me anymore.
But hey, you still have the game though. You can still do that. So if you're sitting in the MVD for hours, that's what you're playing.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the next game to come out. As soon as it comes out, we're gonna have a video game party.
Nice.
Ooh, I want to come.
That's nice.
I'll stay 6 feet away at all times. We all will. We'll kind of make a circle around you. Jen, you wanted to ask Greg something. What did you have in mind?
Oh, I was just super curious what your favorite first character to draw was. Like, because when you're a kid, there's like cartoons you like to watch. And then like, I know for me, it was Gummy Bears. I would draw them over and over again because I was like, they're so interesting and cool. So what's yours?
Well, when I was before I really knew anything about comic books, I really loved the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Yogi Bear, Tom and Jerry, all those super old cartoons. I used to love those, and I would draw those all the time. This was like when I was like around 8 years old, and then I found comics, and I discovered the Avengers and the X-Men and stuff like that, and I started kind of melding them together. So instead of Superman, I'd have Super Dog. It would be Superman with a dog, like a Hanna-Barbera dog's head. Remember, like the dog that used to beat up Tom and Jerry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The bulldog. I would put his head on a human body, and it was a really weird scene.
That is so cool. I love all those cartoons. Those were my cartoons growing up too.
Yeah, man, those were the best.
And now I can't get that like, hey, boo boo out of my head.
That's so funny. I like some of those cartoons. They're on HBO Max. Laura, you need to get. We talked about this.
No, I refuse. I am not paying for anything else. I refuse. I am done paying for subscriptions. I have to pay for Hulu and Disney.
Hulu, Netflix.
I'm protesting here, Greg.
Yeah, it starts to get crazy, right?
It really does. And it's like, do you really
pay for everything?
Right. I mean, what was it? You used to be able to play with a circle and a stick. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, in the old days.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that game is. So old, nobody even knows what it's called.
It's called Circle and Stick, Greg.
Circle and Stick. We'll go with that.
That's literally what it's called.
Hey, interesting enough. You just brought up cartoons. I actually did a remark recently. I have this cover, Thor #6, and it's got Enchantress on it, and it's a nice, sexy shot of Enchantress, and we decided to put a drawing on it, and it's Michigan J. Frog. Do you guys remember what that is? It's the frog that goes. He sings the song, "Hello, my honey, hello, my baby." Hello,
yes, I do know.
And then when the guy tries to show the frog to somebody, it just sits there all lifeless, saying "rivet." So I actually put Michigan J. Frog on the cover as Throg. That's from a storyline when Thor became a frog.
Nice.
That is so cool.
If you look it up you can actually still see it. It's on eBay under completed sales, and you will definitely get a laugh out of that. It's pretty funny.
Oh,
Your
definitely have to
Enchantress
look at it.
Gorgeous. Have you guys seen it?
Not yet.
No.
Here, hold on. I'm going to hold it up to the phone. Can you guys kind of see that?
Wait, a little oh my goodness. Yes.
Hey. Right?
Wow.
It's
Gorgeous.
beautiful.
Yep. Yeah.
I wish I had a picture of Michigan J. Frog, but just imagine him dancing there, doing the high step with a hammer.
That is so cool. I remember that cartoon.
We'll have our producers in the background try to pull up a picture of it so we can show it here later in the show. Okay, Lucy, what did you want to ask?
Okay, Greg. So you've been working with Laura, Birdcity Comics, and I believe you do other exclusives. How is it for you to be working with the stores when you do exclusives? Is it easy to work with them, or are they a pain in the butt? Be honest. Be honest.
Be honest.
I would say I will be honest. I would say for the most part, it's been a very good experience working with Variant covers and partner stores, because when I'm working with a big publisher, they are sometimes dictating what they want you to draw, and sometimes it's not always something that you're interested in or having a lot of fun with it. But when you're doing a store variant, you're designing something that you will enjoy yourself and that other people will enjoy. And I don't know, I enjoy it a lot. It's really a lot of fun. It's great brainstorming with your partner and coming up with ideas. I'm just having a blast doing it. It's great.
That's awesome. Have you come across with anybody that they want a certain thing and you're kind of like, I don't know?
Well,
I'm putting you in the spot. Sorry.
We had one recently, and I'm trying to remember it. Well, I can tell you this. Well, I do this thing that I've mentioned several times so far, remarking comic books, and people are really enthusiastic about it. And we've got this one guy on my group that he convinced me to do a venomized pigeon, because I did a painting of Spider-Gwen, and then there's a pigeon behind her because she's sitting on a ledge. So he says, "Hey, will you venomize that pigeon for me?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." So I did it once, and now it's like a running joke. He wants a venomized pigeon on every comic book I do.
Oh,
and
no.
I've got guys that work with me, and they're not as happy-go-lucky as I am, and they just want to kill this guy.
That's funny. So you made it difficult for the other people.
Pretty much.
You guys have
for the most part, most of the people that I'm working with, they're willing to compromise, and I am too. If I come up with an idea and then somebody comes up with something that seems like it is better, I will go with their idea. That has happened 2 times recently that I can remember. On the Venom 25 cover, I was going to do a painting of this new character, Virus, which I thought was kind of topical given what's going on these days. And I was going to have him standing in the background, and in the foreground, I was going to have Venom throwing up like he's sick from the virus. And then the guy I was working with, he said, "You know what? I think I got a better idea. Why don't you do an homage cover to the first appearance of War Machine? And on that cover, you've got a picture of War Machine firing guns at you, and then the Iron Man logo is behind him, but he has spray painted War Machine over Iron Man." And I was like, "Yeah, we can spray paint Virus over the Venom logo." Ah, there it is. Yeah, check that
That
out.
is so cool.
You got to
Wait,
get in
you-
close, but you can see the frog is
Love it.
dancing there, and he's dressed like Thor.
Nice.
I love it. That is so awesome.
that's the coolest remark ever. Look at that. That's just, oh my gosh, that looks great.
That
I
is
would have bought it.
awesome.
I would have bought
Yeah.
it.
Now I have that song in my
And
head.
and then the other book, just as a point of interest, is the book that we're doing right now. The A and B cover on this Gwenom and Carnage is actually Anthony's idea.
Oh, look at him.
So I had drawn something up, and then Anthony said, "Well, what do you think about this?" And he kind of comped it up in Photoshop to give me an idea of what it would look like. And I was like, "You know what? That's a better idea." So
That is
we
awesome.
went with Anthony's idea on that cover.
What a
Oh.
You should be so
perfect segue.
proud, Laura.
I honestly, I don't know if he'll be able to walk in through the door anymore. His head's getting too
Oh,
big.
no.
Like, bam! No, he's fantastic. But again, you can only do that with certain artists that are just willing to, like what you were saying. If you see something, you're like, okay, yeah, I can make that work. And you're so talented. I think we could give you anything and you would make it look great. It doesn't matter what it is.
Go on. Go on.
Look at her. No, you're
But
not
that-
super easy going. You know, you're willing. I feel like, I mean, yeah, that's why they keep coming back to you.
Yeah, it
Well,
is.
you know,
He's such a joy to work with.
Yeah, I guess that's I try to keep things calm, because a lot of the things that I do are high pressure, and I got people working with me, and I feel like I have to set an example and keep morale high. For instance, I do a lot of appearances at conventions, and the logistics on setting up my booth at a convention, there's like 50 steps.
Oh.
And they're all difficult, and if you mess up one step, it's a lot of trouble. So I try to remain cool and laid back. I may be going crazy on the inside, but you gotta pull it together and make things happen.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you did on this cover. So guys out there, if you have not seen it, this was released today. It's not the final art, I don't think, but here is cover A of the Greg Horn Birdcity Comics exclusive. Now this is Gwenom versus Carnage. When I first saw this image, Greg, when Anthony pulled it up, I was like, oh wow. This is I mean, I think the coloring that you chose here is in the orange and the blue. Love it. Okay,
it's a
I'm
very
gonna put up.
striking piece.
That's the best word for it. It is striking. You look at that, you're like, oh wow. Oh wow. So yeah, I mean, you get this image from Anthony, you're like, or some ideas from Anthony, you're like, okay, let's see what I can do here. And this is what Greg Horn does. He just makes it look.
It's beautiful.
Now, what's interesting about this painting is when I was looking for, when you do a project, you look online to see what's the latest look of the character, especially with Gwenom. She has this new costume, and you really gotta get it right. So I had seen all these different references of Carnage, and some of them will have him with a tongue, and some of them will have him with white teeth like Venom. And I originally drew this with a tongue and white teeth. Well, I have a guy that works with me here in the warehouse. His name's Gary, and he is our resident symbiote expert.
Huh.
And I had turned this artwork in at Marvel, and then he saw it like 5 or 10 minutes later, and he said, "Greg, you gotta redo that. He's got to have black teeth, and it'll be better if he has no tongue. Trust me, just take the tongue out." So I immediately went to the FTP at Marvel. I deleted everything. I told him just disregard all that stuff. I'm gonna send in some revisions. And I got his teeth turned black and took the tongue out in about I'm pretty good with edits. It probably took me about 20, 25 minutes to make that edit, which seems pretty difficult. But like I said, I've got a lot of experience with this, and that's how you get to this final here. It almost looked really different.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the colors. It's just everything just pops, you know, like beautiful way. I mean, that's wow. I mean,
The orange and the teal. What was the reasoning there? It works.
Well, okay, that's another interesting thing. When Anthony sent me his comp in Photoshop, he had put the head of Green Goblin there as a sample, I guess.
Like a filler. Okay.
Right. And then he made the background like this red fiery background. And I was like, man, that looks really great. Except the only problem is when we put Carnage in there, he's red, and then the fiery background is also going to be orange red. And I just felt like it was going to be too overpowering. So that's where I got this idea to kind of separate Gwenom from the background with that kind of silvery looking teal color back there.
Which just works so well with the pink and the tongue and the slippers. Jen, what do you think?
Yeah.
I'm actually I like this cover, but I'm a super big fan of what's the one where it's her face it's coming up?
Pink slippers.
Yeah.
everybody in the comments are going crazy for this. They love this and they're ready to pre-order this.
Carnage looks amazing.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
That is really good to hear. One other question, though. Well, not really a question, but just a comment here. Her suit, it looks like pleather. Doesn't that look like something Naughty would wear out on the Friday Night Girls? I love that wet look. I think it's so sexy. Because, okay, I'm not trying to, like, get controversial here, but some of these covers nowadays are all just about skin. Like, you're just showing the more you can show and whatever. I think this was a very subtle way to make this incredibly sexy, but it's still the suit.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. This. Yeah. Actually, Marvel's been leaning towards more coverage lately. You should see some of the covers when I first broke in at Marvel. There's a lot of skin. If you've seen my Emma Frost covers, Elektra covers.
I've seen your Emma Frost, yeah.
Emma Frost is beautiful.
And then I think after the movies came out, you know, when you see the characters in the X-Men movie, they're all dressed in black leather. You know, and there's just a whole different design motif, and now you will see many characters like this that are completely covered from toe to toe. Gwenom, obviously, the recent Captain Marvel design is another good example. But with this character, I thought that kind of PVC leather kind of texture would really create some good contrast and just look nice. It's a really slick look. I agree with you. I really like it.
It's where your eye automatically goes. It's so okay, but this isn't the final art. So obviously, when we get the A cover, it'll have the title on it, the trade dress.
Right. Yeah. That's the trade dress cover. It's going to have the Gwenom versus Carnage logo on it. I have no idea where they're going to put it, so I'm hoping they're not. I hope they're not going to cover up anything good.
Probably down below, I would think.
Yeah.
Right?
We don't know yet. I don't think we've gotten that one yet. So, okay. So this is the A cover, guys.
This is just the A cover.
This is just A. Yeah, this is just A. All right. So here is the B.
Different.
I love it. Again, you darkened it up. It just looks so rich with those colors. I mean, the teal pops. This is, again, a beautiful one. But this will be a virgin, right?
Yeah, this will be the one with nothing on it to obscure the art.
Love it. Love it. I love it.
Okay, and also that is actually an old image. You can see the white teeth. See the white teeth?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's an old image. That's exactly what I got rid of on the final.
So
any of you symbiote lovers out there, we don't want to hear any complaints because that's not the final art.
Oh, you know what's funny? It didn't even connect. Okay, so the final art one will have the black teeth.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
Listen, these symbiote lovers, they're very particular. Okay, we will get lambasted online if I don't do this right. So this is a big thing.
So you guys listening, not the final art. He will have black teeth. This is
don't freak out.
Don't freak out on Greg.
There you go.
Yeah, just so you know. Now, girls, Greg put a little Easter egg on this cover.
I see it.
Does anybody out there see
Can you
these
see it?
away? Honest to God, Greg, when I first got it, I had no idea. I was like, oh, this
You can
is
see
cool.
it.
I was like, yeah, it's neat. And Anthony's all, Laura, look closer. And I'm like, no, it's beautiful. And it took me about 5 minutes before I saw it. And I was like, holy shit. Like, that is so badass. I was so excited. Now it's like so obvious to me. But whoever's, Lucy, are you looking at the chat?
Yes, yeah, but nobody has said anything yet. They just said Black Teeth looks better. Good edits. That's our flicks and comics.
See, I wasn't lying.
Yeah, but no, you know what? I was gonna say, I was gonna mention that earlier, and somebody said that your She-Hulk is on fire, and I have to agree. I love your She-Hulk, and I was able to pick those covers back like 6 months ago. I think.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I was gonna mention that earlier. I loved you, She-Hulk. I love She-Hulk, and like I said, I was able to pick those covers. A few of the covers. I still need to get more of them.
Yeah,
She-Hulk
was a fun book because I got to explore some humorous aspects with her. Because you know, when I was drawing Elektra is a cold-blooded assassin who never smiles.
Yeah.
So you know, you always had to make her look very serious and deadly. And then Emma, you know, Emma's. I hate to say it in front of you ladies, but this is what it is. She's just a bitch. She's a cold-hearted bitch.
We can handle it. Come on.
Okay, but She-Hulk.
We won't cancel you. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you. But She-Hulk is she's like a jokester.
Mm-hmm.
I just love drawing those covers because I got to do a lot of comedy and humor gags with her.
Yeah. Okay, we got some people here. Yeah. Let me see. Kelly. Yeah, she spotted first. She said the city. Bird City on the buildings, and then comics and fun. Then yeah, people are seeing it now. So I found it.
You can't not see it now.
I have it on my computer. Well, my screens. I have it on all full. So for me, it's like eye level. I was able to see it right away. So I don't know if people are watching on TV. I think it will be bigger and they're going to see it. But that is so cool, guys. Is this gonna go on the? Is this just for you guys as exclusive, or is it gonna be like on the other? Any like a Marvel? Is it gonna have this cover? It's just exclusive at Birdcity Comics.
Oh yeah, no, this is a Birdcity Comics exclusive. We're gonna be selling it at birdcitycomics.com and at greghornart.com.
Okay,
so that's where you'll be able to find this thing. But I just thought it was so neat. I think originally we're like, let's just see if we can get black and yellow windows on the buildings. You know, we were like, that's asking a lot. And then Greg goes and Greg horns all over it. I mean, look at that. He puts Bird City in the lights, which was just.
I didn't want to make it too obvious because then it would be like, you know, we were just punching people in the face with an ad. So
right.
I was like, you know, let's make it very subtle, and eventually people will pick it out and go, ooh.
That's basically what I did. I kind of looked at him like, I don't see anything. I'm not getting it.
Frodo Madness, he said it was the first thing he saw.
Oh, really? He's better than I am.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't believe.
All right. So if you are just joining us, we have artist Greg Horn with us tonight. We are discussing the cover that got revealed today, Gwenom versus Carnage #1. This is the B cover that you're seeing right now. Not final art. The teeth will be black. But we're letting you guys have some sneak peeks here. Moving on to cover 3.
Oh, this is
I love this one.
Wow.
I know, all of us are like...
just the colors. Like her face is...
Her eyes.
Beautiful. Yes.
It's her eyes, right? Something the way she's...
Those deep blue eyes.
Now, that's interesting you bring that up. Whenever I am doing a human face, whether it is a male or female, I always start with the eyes.
Really?
And I actually always start my paintings with the face because I've learned if you get the face right, then you're like 90% of the way to a good painting. You can do a painting that's just awesome all the way around, and if you mess up the person's face, then everybody goes, ew.
Well, the face is the hardest, right? That was the hardest part of the cover by far.
Definitely, yeah. You know, that's the part of the painting with the least margin for error. I was just telling somebody, I just did a signing tour recently at South Florida, and I was explaining to someone how if let's say I make a mistake on Carnage, let's say I drop a paintbrush on his face, you probably won't even notice. You'll be like, oh, look at that cool splotch on his face.
It's a vein. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody in the chat said it's like looking into that. What does it say? It's like she's looking into your soul.
Really?
All right. I think that person's gonna buy a book.
Oh yeah, they better.
It's
Sean
just
Blair, you better. You better buy the set. And do you have like an inspiration like for the faces, you know, or it's just
no, not really. When I first started working at Marvel, I was working on a character, Elektra, and I didn't use my wife as a reference for the face, but she had a certain way of doing her makeup that I thought was quite fascinating, and I would say she was the inspiration for Elektra. And then after that, I started doing other characters, and we realized, oh, we need these characters to look different. I can't have every character looking like the same person. So back then, we would actually hire models to get the look. Emma Frost, in particular, is a model that I hired down in Miami. And then more recently, I've gotten so good at this that I'm able to just make the faces up myself and keep them pretty consistent. Occasionally I'll use a 3D model to do the poses, but mostly the faces I just come up with myself. So that face you're looking at on Gwen, that is not a real person.
Oh, that is so cool. Imagine if she comes out, I am real. Just kidding.
Make every guy's dream come true. Everybody, you guys even imagine you sit down, you're like, huh, my person looks like a stick figure with like a googly eyes. And that's what Greg Corney said, like, oh, what am I going to come up with? This stunning girl. I don't understand that level of talent. How long did that take to do Cover C?
Well, see, this might be embarrassing. Should I tell you if it's going to be embarrassing?
I don't know.
Because
do it.
Okay.
Should you?
The C cover is just a close-up of the elements in A cover. I just came in closer, and then all I had to do was draw Gwen's face.
That's not that bad. Okay, that makes sense.
So that painting probably took me a day. But if I was doing it from scratch, let's say you said, Greg, draw this painting of Carnage with Gwenom in front of him. That would probably take me. I'm looking at it right now. That probably would have taken me 4 days.
Oh, wow.
But since the elements are already drawn on the first cover, it makes it a lot easier.
Hey, work smarter, not harder, right? Jen, exactly. What do you think her eyes are saying to us?
I do not.
Buy my book.
Buy my book. I think that's what it's saying too, Greg. That's kind of
take me home with you.
Take me home.
I will wink, but
I know what she's saying. She's saying, there's a giant red dude behind me, isn't there?
And she's surprised, like she's been talking smack about him. It's like, right?
He's right there, but if I don't move, it's all good. No, I think it's fantastic. All three covers are just beautiful. I think we actually have a screen that shows all three of them together. These officially go on sale tomorrow?
No, it's going to go on sale Saturday. 12 p.m. your time, 2 p.m. my time. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Florida.
So Saturday, guys, you have to wait until Saturday, but it'll be worth the wait.
And this is all a set, right? Or can you buy individuals, or it's all set? Buy all the set, guys. Buy the set. Doesn't matter.
I think I'm pretty sure the way we're setting this up, you can buy the A cover by itself. You can buy an A-B set, or you can buy an A-B-C set.
Okay. Got it.
So just buy the whole set, right? I mean, that seems like that's the way you should go with this.
Yeah.
Well, and with the holiday season, right? Like, you can just, like, get your favorite and then, like, gift out the others.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Who would not want Gwenom for Christmas?
Seriously.
Who are these fools?
I don't think they exist. I think everybody wants this. And I find this
Yeah.
this whole cover is just, it's stunning. I'm so happy with how this turned out. And I'm so grateful that it was Greg Horn on the cover and doing the cover. I mean, that's just, I'm still a little
Thanks again,
starstruck.
Laura. I appreciate it.
I know I'm just starstruck. You're incredible.
Yes.
And we need to
Super
tell more
talented.
people.
I know. We need to spread the word so people are aware that this is the kind of stuff that you're putting out. All right. Well, guys, girls, do you have any other questions for Greg before we let him go?
Favorite drink?
Oh, random.
My favorite drink.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you say favorite drink?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. When I was a kid, there was this drink called Mr. Pibb.
Oh yeah.
And then they stopped selling it. They just got rid of it and it was gone. So fast forward like 10, 15 years, they reissued it as Pibb Extra. And I think what happened was Dr. Pepper was so popular that Mr. Pibb sounded like a copycat of Dr. Pepper.
Mm.
So Mr. Pibb got the axe. But anyway, they brought it back, Pibb Extra, but it's still incredibly hard to find. It is my favorite drink. I can't live without it. And at one point, I had to order it from the gas station in like 24 packs because I'm kind of a snob. I won't drink it out of a can. I can get it from the local grocery store in a can, but I just won't accept that. I'm a connoisseur. You understand? Got the finger up, the pinky up in the air. So anyway, I order a 24-pack of bottles from the local gas station, and when I walk in, they say, "Hey, it's Mr. Pibb."
That's awesome. So
Nice.
now listen, now people, for whenever cons are back, be ready to receive that, okay?
Hell
so
yeah, bring me a
listen,
Pibb.
people, he does not like the can, okay?
The bottle. The
The
bottle.
bottle.
Yes, no
Get it
can.
right.
Worthy for
The
the
cans
can.
for Philistines.
Well, now I want one. Does it taste like Dr. Pepper?
It's better than Dr. Pepper.
I'm
How
gonna try
dare
it.
you?
Oh,
How
sorry.
dare you?
Oh man, I
Cool.
think I just touched
It's
a
really
nerve there.
Hey,
So
you know, Laura, how you are with black licorice? I think that's how he is with his
Mr. Pibb.
Mr. Pitt.
I'm gonna go buy some now. Now I have to try this. You
I
just
know. I
good.
need to look for it.
Okay, just remember, get it in the bottle or from the tap.
See, people in the comments are saying Mr. Pip was better, and they like it. Yeah, they
I
agree
like
with
it.
you
we
in the
have
comments.
sometimes we have a lot of arguments on my Facebook pages about what's better, Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pibb Extra rather. And I think sometimes they're just doing it on purpose to make me mad. They know how passionate I am about Pibb.
So awesome.
That's not what I thought he was gonna say. I mean, of all the answers, that's not where I thought he was gonna go. Okay.
That is
That's a
awesome.
solid answer. All right. Well, you guys, Greg, thanks so much for coming out. We really genuinely appreciate it. It's been an absolute blast.
Absolutely.
If you guys-
I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
yeah, we're going to try to get you on more. Make sure that you check out greghornart.com. And you're on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, right?
Yes. The best place, I've got several social medias, but the best place is if you go on Facebook and you do a search for Greg Horn Comic Collecting Forum. It's a mouthful, but it's worth it to just type it all in. And just make sure you answer 2 questions because we don't allow people on the group that we think are bots
Good.
Got it.
or
Very
troublemakers or, you know.
So
Very
make sure you
nice.
answer those 2 questions.
Yep, get it done, guys. All right, well, we're going to let Greg go, but don't go anywhere because we are going to get started on the rest of the show. So thank you, Greg. We will see you
Thank
later.
you. Bye.
All right. Thanks, guys. It was great meeting you.
Oh, I told you guys, isn't he fantastic? He's
Amazing.
so
That's
easy
awesome.
to talk to and he's so chill. So if you're just hopping in, you missed out a little bit. So make sure that you subscribe to the page so you get notifications when we go live. We have more interviews. Next week, I think we have Megan Hutchinson that's going to be on with us. And you don't want to miss out on these type shows because they're so
Fun.
they're fun. Like I'm cracking up over here. All right, so we are going to continue on the rest of the night. We have a quick segment that we wanted to do about mobile phone games. I don't even know if that's how you call it.
Gaming.
Cell phone games.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we all have a phone nowadays. We all have cell phones, and they're all like mean to download games. It's so easy. Most of them are free. So it's a cool segment, I believe.
I think so too. Before we get to that part, though, Jen, really quickly, do you want to tell everybody what you found out about a Charlie Brown Christmas?
Okay, yeah. So there was like a lot of stuff going on because Apple TV bought out the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving and Christmas specials, which used to air for free all the time during the season.
Yeah.
And people kind of like freaked out, which rightfully so, because it's always been free, like by Apple TV. So they finally did a deal with PBS that for one day at 7:30 Eastern, they're showed on PBS. And then for the special for Christmas, it's going to be on the 13th, which is coming up. But then I just found out yesterday, because of all the backlash, because of the Thanksgiving special had to deal with, because it's just only for one-time showing on PBS and also like on their online, that now Apple TV is offering, you can watch this special through the 11th through 13th on Apple TV for free, apparently with no credit card. But I'm not sure about that, so I'll still do PBS on the 13th because it's a classic. I don't want to have to pay for it.
Right, you shouldn't be able to monopolize a classic. You guys out there in the chat, let us know what you think about that. Apple TV being able to own it. That's BS, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so freaking greedy. Like, why?
That's a great question. Well, money. It's all about money. It's like, why do you have to own?
Now it's better like to go on freaking the store and buy the DVD or something. Buy it on Amazon or I don't know. That way you own it and they can
even like Walmart has like an $8 antenna adapter, which I like before this stuff happened, I purchased, and I'm like, wow, I really like it because on PBS you get like Nova, and I'm like, oh yeah, Nova. Like, anyway,
see, if you guys weren't so busy watching HBO Max, you guys could come over and watch Charlie Brown Christmas with me. But no, that's a beautiful thing, Jen. It's beautiful when the public bitches enough and somebody actually listens. Something actually got done from people complaining. So
they kind of caved, yeah.
Like that's gorgeous. That's a Christmas miracle.
That's
anyway. Awesome. All right. So Lucy, moving on to cell phones. We're kind of getting on a rant here. Lucy was saying everybody has a phone nowadays, and it's not just your average flip phone, right, Lucy? What's happening with cell phones and games?
So now, I mean, I talked to you guys about like how the games that I play almost every day, it's now because of my son among game, and honestly, like it helps me fall asleep. I get sleepy. Am I getting old?
This game is just, I don't know. Jen played
so
it for the first time and she wasn't feeling it, right?
Well, it's okay. So you guys told me about this game and like how everyone's playing it and there's like videos being made. I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and play this game. And I joined it, and it's with people who aren't my friends. So I heard that you can go in the chat and be like, hey, did anyone see anything? And I'm like, oh, just vote. Because basically you're voting for the kind of like the like on the mystery. Remember like that train where someone died and you have to like guess who did it, right? That like train game.
Clue?
Yeah, like Clue.
I was just gonna say Clue.
Train version?
It's a game version of it. And so you're like running around this like spaceship, and if you see something, you say something. You're supposed to like tell people like, hey, I saw this, or like this is who I found dead. And like my chat was like, just vote. And I'm like, but I didn't see anything. So I kept like passing the vote. And I'm like, and then finally someone's like, oh, I saw green kill yellow. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll vote green. And then he got sent off, and it was the imposter. But then you can also be the imposter.
But what if green was the imposter and just was framing yellow, Jen, and then you voted off yellow?
Yeah.
Which can happen also. But I'm like, I didn't have a phone chat like that. So I really want us to play, because I think it'd be fun if like Flipside and us got together and did this. Because like, who would be a good like poker player basically, but in a game version of it.
I feel like Lucy would be a great liar. She'd be like, it wasn't me.
That's what happened. No, actually, you know what? I've been playing like my son, he's a 10-year-old, and my sister, a 14-year-old. I was playing with them, and you can create an alliance, and it's like, oh, I got your bag. I won't say anything. I'll be like, oh no, I was with this person the whole time, and they were doing. I'm like, that's cheating. Just go. Like, I'm not gonna do like. on your own, you know. I get, and people do that even if you're not in the same room or whatever. They can do that. For me, it's cheating, right? But I mean, this game is so right now, it's so popular. Like
It's so
in
popular.
2011, 2012, the other one that was so popular was, oh my god, I was just telling you about it. I completely I forgot to add the picture for that.
Oh,
Um
you were telling me about Candy
Candy
Crush?
Crush. Yes, Candy Crush. I mean, it was so annoying. People sending you on Facebook at the time where Facebook will send you like those requests like, oh, send me lives if we're playing, you know, you can send lives to people and stuff like that. It was so annoying. I hated it. And then I
So
kind of
that's
fell
like
for it.
this
Yeah.
generation's version of Candy Crush. Instead of
Yes.
playing Candy Crush, they're all playing
Yeah.
Among Us.
Yeah. So the other one, well, see, first how it started with the whole games and everything started in 1994 when those
1990.
old phones, remember those
Nokia.
Nokia phones, you know? And the first game was Tetris. And then,
Tetris!
yes, I
I
loved it.
love Tetris.
Yeah. So that was the first game. And then a few years later, Snake. I love Snake. I remember playing that one. And, you know, I mean, from little by little, it just, I guess, started adding more games. You know, I remember my mom's her flip phone, which was like in the 2000s. Uh, she had like 3 or 4 games, and solitaire I think was one of them. And I always like playing that one, solitaire. It also gets me sleepy. It will
I
help
like
me
at
fall
the end when
asleep.
the cards fly away all
Yes.
rhythmically.
Yeah.
You have to
And
win, theoretically, but
then there's another one in 2004, I think it was. No, wait, 2014, right? 2004. Can't remember. I remember it was a 4. But Angry Birds. It started playing with the Angry Birds. And it's still popular now. Um,
Angry Birds is
like my son loves to play.
huge. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a
my son,
huge one.
I like to play. It's fun. And also,
There's a
Jen,
movie.
the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think it was because of I believe because of the game, right? Um, they came out with the movie because of the game.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and well, Jen found, you know,
The comic
this
book.
the comic book that
Yeah.
it came out. The free comic book came out 2014, right, Jen? You were
Mhm.
saying, and then I think later on 2016 another set came out. But you were saying about this one, Jen, that they came out with this one. How?
Well, I was trying to figure out like because there was a couple iterations of Angry Birds because of the popularity of the game was so intense through everything, which is funny because everyone kept saying to play it, and to this day I still haven't played it. I've watched other people play it, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I remember when like the movie came out, I'm like, wow, this is really going somewhere. And then seeing the game, the comic in the comic book store, I'm like, what is going on with like games and like because it wasn't like your console games because that's always been a good like correlation between like medias, right? But like phone games was always just like a pastime thing, and this started like transitioning to like everything, and you're like, huh, okay.
Well, it's been a huge shift. They say nowadays smartphone owners spend 200 million minutes per day collectively. So 16 hours every day.
Yeah.
Right now, people are playing Angry Birds.
Let me, you know, I should have checked.
Incredible.
Yeah. Where do you check like how like time you spend on your phone? I want to check how.
Oh, there's like I think in your settings you can like see, and then I think Instagram is the same thing where you can like check like how long you've been in Instagram, and you're like, oh.
Well, I mean, I know I spend a lot of time playing. I play mostly 3 games that I play, which is Among Us, and there's the other ones, the restaurant. What is it called? Diary. I was telling you, Laura, the cooking diary, and my cafe. That I'm so into, like, especially my cafe. Cafe. That's what's how you call it, right?
You're saying it cute. My cafe.
My cafe. I'm
Cafe.
saying Spanish. Spanish. My cafe.
My cafe.
I'm so into it that I freaking joined a group on Facebook.
I had to stop playing it because people were getting mad at me because I kept burning the burgers and they were like growling and they weren't leaving me tips. And Adam walked in. I'm like, leave me alone. I just burnt a burger. And he's like, Mom, you need to stop playing that game. So
This
he
one
was
that
giving me real life anxiety. So
And another one that I downloaded, I want to say maybe 4 years ago, and I've been playing. I think it was 2016, 2015, 2016, and it was Fallout Shelter, which is a video game now, like for
yeah.
the PS4 and all that stuff. But I downloaded. A friend recommended that one, and it's kind of, I guess, the same like the Fallout Shelter. You heard of that one, right, Laura? Have you guys heard of that one? So those are
No,
the ones that I'm
I've never
playing.
played that one.
It's pretty fun. It's like you building your own shelter after the apocalypse type of thing, and then you have to procreate again, humanity, and you put little things inside a room so they can have a baby. And you
Jen,
turn
I think
your
we need to take her
shelter.
phone away. What do you think? We need to take Lucy's phone away.
I don't know if you can see it. Those are all my games.
Oh my gosh. She's not kidding you guys. She had like a ton of games. Jen and I are like, we don't really play all that much. And she's like, what about this? This was Jen's pick though, right?
Yeah, so I play Pocket Morty like sometimes because it kind of reminds me of Pokemon Go, but like more non-innocent.
Well said. More non-innocent, guys.
I don't know. I mean, because basically, like, I love Rick and Morty, and then when I came across Pocket Mortys, it's just that. It's like, remember how when Rick and Morty go to like where all the Mortys are and all the Ricks are, and they have their own Mortys, and it's like different dimensions, right?
Yeah.
So basically, in this, you're trying to catch them all, right? All the Mortys, and so you go around, and then you try to catch them, and like you battle each other, and there's like Street Morty, and like
Pokemon.
Yeah, but it's just like a nice twist on it, and so I'm like, oh, this is funny. I'll just do this, and then the comic book came out. I was actually at the convention when the blank cover came out, and that was around the same time that the blank cover for Rick and Morty #1 got like really intricately sketched by Rollins. He like did like colors and like a full intricate like artist design of a blank cover for #1. And it sold for like 1,000 plus or something. And so everyone came and tried to buy this blank pocket like you stole it and try to go to him to get like a drawing done. And I'm like, okay, he doesn't have a time to like go and do an intricate design. It's going to be like a basic, like black and white, like whatever he can do. But that line got like super long. But then I remember reading this and being like, oh, it's kind of funny. Like it's the game, but in comic book form.
That's
This
funny.
is all downloaded.
Yeah,
We added this
see,
in.
like, and even, I mean, like Pokemon Go, like how big it got. It was like that one also was on 2018, I think 2017 when it got super famous, and people are going out, which
in
was kind of
Chicago.
cool. Yeah, it was kind of cool.
I was driving to work, and in Chicago, I'm like driving, and I'm like going past like one of those like I think Grant Park, and I kept seeing all these like flags, and I'm like, those flags look like it's from Pokemon Go. And then with my boss, we're like driving around, and he's like, why is that guy dressed like Pikachu? And I'm like, oh man, that was a Pokemon Go event. That's awesome. And he's like, Pokemon Go. I'm like, oh, Pokemon. And he's like, Pokemon. I'm like, well, it's like these creatures that you catch with a Pokeball. And he's like, are you kidding me?
I'm just kidding. We can use that. Yes. We can call somebody.
Then when I was leaving, I like went slow and I like parked nearby because there's like a bunch of like Pokestops that were like up, and I'm like,
they were everywhere. They were in like our city council building. My husband's like, I'm like, you're gonna get arrested, bro. I'm like, you're climbing over fences and trespassing, trying to get your little Jigglypuff or whatever it was, and
people got hit by cars. They got like everything
because they were so busy looking at their. Do you think that's why it didn't like? I felt like it was so big for a while, then it just kind of like went away.
Well, it's still around. People still play.
My old apartment was a Pokestop, so I could just easily like log in and get like a bunch of Pokeballs. So I never had to pay for anything.
That's nice.
Yeah, I remember my sister-in-law. She would go out like to the park, and like especially like the civic center around here. Like a lot of people go there, and I believe somebody. I don't know if it's if they made it up but they have a big old pond, and I guess they went in the middle of it so they can catch a freaking water Pokemon.
Like they took
Something
boats?
like that. No, there's no boats or nothing. Like, I mean, they have fishes and the ducks, but people are not allowed going inside the freaking huge pond. And this person went in there just to catch a stupid. And I want to say they got stuck or something like that because of the mud or something. I don't
Do you guys
know,
ever play?
but it
I
was
played
so
with
fun.
I played with my husband and my kids. Like my kids are really into it, but then I want to think it was more my kids, but it was probably more Anthony. He was like, "Oh my
I
gosh, there's
believe
one over
that.
here!" And yeah, it just became.
Do you guys
It
learn how to
became.
like spin the ball to like do a curve ball?
Did they what?
So there's a way to like if you have your Pokeball queued up to catch it, if you spin it and then throw it, it's like a curveball and it catches the Pokemon a lot easier.
Yeah, I don't think they ever got that sophisticated with it. They just kind of like went hunting and they'd be gone for hours, and I'm like home sitting at an empty dinner table. I'm like, okay, this is where my
Uh,
family went.
Ultra Maximus, he said that at his local comic book store, it was a
The
gym.
gym. Yeah, that's
But
cool.
I believe you had to pay for that if you wanted your place to because of the comic book store that I worked. I believe because I told him I'm like, why don't you make like a stop here, to bring people in? I
Yeah.
believe you had to pay for that or
You
something
could
like
buy
that.
to make your place a gym. Your
Well, because think about the traffic you would get to your
right. That's
gym, like get to your store. Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony said that he could toss a curveball.
oh, could he? I
I
didn't
Cool.
don't
know.
know.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Sorry, babe. Sorry. But anyways, yeah, the only game I can say that I really got hooked on, and I'm kind of ashamed to tell you guys this, but this is a safe circle.
Nobody will
Stupid
know that one.
zombies. I played Stupid Zombies. Okay, so my daughter was doing
This one
gymnastics,
out.
right? And she's like doing flips and cartwheels, and like periodically I'd look up and be like, "Good job." No freaking clue what she was doing. I would just occasionally try to make eye contact with her, so I felt like a good parent. Then it was back to my zombies because you have to. Have you guys ever played this?
No, I need to download this one.
So see the main guy, he has like a gun, and like you have to figure out how to make the bullet ricochet like through like all different designs to kill all the zombies, and they stand there and they're all ugh, ugh.
I played Plants vs Zombies. That one was so fun. But I need to download this.
This
I'm gonna
one,
download it right now.
the levels get harder, and so like at first it's like, oh, straight shot, you kill your zombie, but then eventually it's like it has to go through all these different things, and so yeah, I missed like the first 3 years of my kids' gymnastics class. No idea what they can do. I think they can do a cartwheel or something. I don't know. Don't care. I killed all my zombies. I was on like level 48. So this is the only one that I got really hooked on, and they have multiples. They do Stupid Zombies too, and yeah.
Flipside Comics did make a good comment. Is that Ash? I thought the same thing. Is that Ash from?
No, that doesn't look like Ash.
No, it doesn't. With like the brown hair and like his arm could be something behind the logo.
If you guys watch Food Wars, he kind of reminds me of a character from Food Wars. It's an anime. I don't know if you guys watch.
I can't believe you guys haven't played this.
I'm gonna download right now.
You have to. And then like I would get stuck on certain levels, and my son, who at the time when I was playing this a lot, he was like 7, he could figure it out. Because like I said, you have a limited amount of bullets, and you have to make it hit all the zombies before your bullets run out. But certain levels were just like you'd have cans that you had to hit to make an explosion and a chain reaction to kill all the zombies. And the zombies taunt you. They're like you missed me. They don't really, but I heard it in my head.
They made Stupid Zombies 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And then they have a Stupid Zombies Extreme. So there's more. Oh no, sorry, Exterminator. So there's more that you can try and play, Laura.
Is it the son that plays chess?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I wonder if that's why he could figure it out. I'd be like, Adam, help me. And he'd be like, Mom. And he'd take my phone. He's like, they're all dead, and hand it back to me. I'm like, thanks. But it's confusing because you have to figure out like how to make it happen in certain
geometry.
levels.
Yay.
Yeah, I mean, I never really thought that he's a chess player. So are you. So you would probably be really good at this.
I'll check. Well, I went to go check it out, and I'm like, I don't want to pay for playing.
Is it? You have to pay for it now?
It's free. I just downloaded it for free.
You did? Because it was like, for me, it was like, you can
Oh,
play
wait,
for a
you
month.
don't have an iPhone, right?
No, I haven't. Oops. Okay. I have an Android.
Get mad, calm down, geez.
I have an Android too, Jen.
Was
Dang
it free?
you guys. No wonder when I get the text messages, it's green. Dang you guys.
Androids are so much better. That's a whole nother show, though. I don't like apples. They're so hard to work and they break really easily.
I think once you're using, because like I tried using someone's like Apple phone because like, oh, just use it, and I tried and I was like, oh man, like there's one button, what is this? But then like with Android, I can have like YouTube playing in the background as I have like my GPS up, and they're like, how are you doing that? And I'm like, I don't, Android, and they're like,
just Android. That's all you have to say.
Yeah.
We're the little green man that eats that apple. The little
Yeah.
Android guy. Yeah. Ellie will give me her iPhone. I'm like, I don't know what to do with your stinking space phone. Just take it.
Is she gonna call you boomer again?
I know. My kids have been calling me boomer lately. Anyway. But the point of this segment, which Lucy was like, she was spot on. Nowadays, phones have gaming capabilities equal to a 5th generation gaming console. So you're starting to see people play Fortnite on their phones, Call of Duty on their phones. Phones are becoming they're their own little gaming consoles, which is really cool. So what do you guys think is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years? What's the spec on gaming?
I mean, what I'm really hoping is that it gets to the level where, like, you know how there's like I've talked about it a couple times, but like Jedi Fallen Order and these other games make like a mobile game for it that leads you into the bigger console games, that leads into TV and movies. Because if you're already in your phone and you like these genres of like sci-fi and action, like why not tie it to get you to play it to then go and purchase other aspects of like that universe?
Yeah, and it could probably pull people into the comic book world if you're just, creating these bridges between the medias. So that eventually I think virtual reality is going to be big soon, which I don't know if I love that or I hate it. What do you guys think? Like immersion games where you step into the game itself. Like I'm thinking, what's that movie? Girls.
Oh,
the movie.
Is it Ready
Player One? Yeah.
Ready Player One. That's kind of where I see
it's kind of already like that, isn't it? You can buy those things that you can play with.
Yeah, but it's like solar. It's too expensive for it to be accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm talking like, when is it going to be like standard? Like, you know how it used to be like, oh, I have a flat phone, and people are like, oh my God, and now it's common.
Sure.
Eventually, that's how I see the VR being.
Yeah.
Well, they have that like cool one where you can put your phone into it, but that's like super expensive, right?
I did that on a plane, and Anthony's like, you realize how dumb you look right now? Because I was sitting on the moon on the plane, and I'm like, I don't care if people are staring. I had these giant goggles on, and I just sat on the moon watching a movie because like you could sit in a chair on the moon. I was happy. I don't care if people
think that a lot of later on it's gonna be all digital. No, how you can still buy the actual games.
What was that movie with? Oh God, the guy from. Oh man, he was married to Demi Moore, and he did
Bruce Willis.
Yes, Bruce Willis. And he's like, you're like at home the whole time, but like your computer self that's a robot goes off into the real world to like be alive.
What?
Yeah. You just stay at home and you're just plugged in, and then like your robot self goes out and like, because it's, oh man.
Robotron, Anthony's yelling.
Robotron.
Robot Ron.
Robot Ron.
What are you saying? Tron? It's not Tron. Bruce Tron.
I guess kind of like Tron, but not really. It's like you just stay at home the whole time, and like your avatar goes off into the real world, like as a robot, like walking around. So if you get in an accident, like you don't die, you just start again. Like
it's not Bruce Willis. It's what's his name? The other one for Mission Impossible.
Bruce Willis.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Oh no, that's Minority Report.
No, the newer one. The newer
one.
Isn't it?
Come on, people in the chat. Guess what we are thinking without us.
Surrogates?
What are we trying to say?
Surrogates?
Oh, surrogates?
Lawnmower Man. Ghost in the Shell. Oh man. I'm sorry, you guys. But
Ghost
like
in the Shell with Bruce Willis.
Like I don't think we're gonna get to the point where it's from WALL-E. Remember when they're just like in those hover chairs?
Oh, that's such a depressing movie. I can't watch that.
I don't think it like that. I just think that like the companies will get better at targeting, like, hey, we'll do an app that leads to this, leads to that. Like, so it keeps you on the purchasing, like, oh, the toys and the games and the comic books and movies and more tie-ins.
Money. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not a bad thing if you can kind of try to do cross crossovers between games and comics, because at least that way we could bring more people into this hobby, which is the main goal, right? Is to get more people involved in comic books and whatnot. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, or Lucy, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't
I
think
think
I freaking zoned out. What are you guys talking about?
There was like a Sega game where you were in a comic book and you were like in it. I mean, I'll find it for our December 22nd show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'll find it. But there's a game where like you're in a comic book and you just like flick from panel to panel, and it was so much fun. And, like you're in a comic book. That's pretty cool.
Well, we're running a little bit over here, but okay, guys. So we're going to let you guys go for the night. A couple things before we go, though. Make sure that you check out birdcitycomics.com. You can use promo code Flipside for 15% off of your purchase. On the screen right there, you're seeing some more amazing Greg Horn art. That is his Punchline #1. His Blood Money homage is on that center right there. And then off to the side, you have the Scott Williams Batman Catwoman #1. This is the Gwenom versus Carnage, which will go on sale at 12 p.m. our time on Saturday. I think if you are part of our Peeps group, you can start reserving. So if you're not already, join the Peeps over on Facebook. And then Lucy does a show. Go ahead, tell them about that.
So this past weekend, I started with comic book nightmares, which we talk about, what the nightmares of comic book collecting. And but every other week I'm gonna do that, and then this week coming up I'm having an awesome lady, and she's gonna share her ghostly experience, and I'm pretty excited to have her this weekend. So please tune in at Mama Comic Lucy, my YouTube channel, or just check my Instagram and you'll see my post about it.
Yes, do that. And of course, follow Comic Book Women on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to the page. Leave comments. We love to read them and respond to them as much as we can. We will be back next Tuesday, the 15th, with Megan Hutchinson.
And then real quick, Ultra Maximus and JJ Maxwell were right. It was Surrogates with Bruce Willis. But go ahead. But
Surrogates?
Yeah, Surrogates. You need to watch it. It's fun.
I think I will. I didn't even know about it, and I love Bruce Willis. But yeah, anyway, we'll be back next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Megan Hutchinson, and she is not only just stunning, she's a rock star. The more we kind of like have been doing our research on her and we've been communicating with her, she's fantastic. She is up and coming, not just as a female creator, but as a creator in general. She's a badass. So we're going to have her on to discuss some of her recently released covers and her new haha #1 that's coming out, which is, I don't even know how to describe that. Hauntingly amazing. It's cool. The best way to put it. It's incredible. So tune in. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. See you guys later.